The Whispering Forest. I still remember the way the forest seemed to swallow the light as we ventured deeper. The Whispering Forest, they called it, a place that had haunted my childhood stories, filling our nights with fear and wonder. My name is Tomas, and this is the story of how I came to be the only one to survive its cursed shadows. We were 5 friends bound by a thirst for adventure. Maria, curious to a fault, often led our escapades. Joao, always the cautious one, balanced her reckless enthusiasm. Ines, our storyteller, was the glue that held us together with her vivid imagination. Paulo, the skeptic, always dismissed the superstitions that ran deep in our village. And then there was me, the one who craved the thrill of the unknown. It began around a campfire one evening. The forest, just a few miles from our village, loomed large in our conversation. Maria was the first to suggest it. Why not? We've explored every inch of Chitengo. What if the legends are just legends? Paulo scoffed, as expected. Ghosts. Shadows. You all listen to Vovo Chico too much. There's no such thing. But Joao hesitated, glancing toward the dark silhouette of the forest in the distance. It's not just Vovo Chico, though. People have disappeared. We should be careful. The next morning, with our packs full of supplies and a mix of excitement and dread in our hearts, we stood before Vovo Chico's hut. The old man listened silently as we told him of our plans, his wrinkled face creasing with worry. You must not go into that forest, he said firmly, his voice a deep rumble that made the air feel heavier. Os Valtos are real. They feed on fear and despair. If you insist on going, you must respect the forest. You must follow these rules. He handed each of us a charm woven from grass and beads before listing the precautions. Stay together no matter what. Do not enter after dusk. If you hear the whispers, do not listen, turn back immediately. And most importantly, stay calm. The shadows feed on fear. Do not give them what they want. I saw Maria's eyes light up, not with fear, but with curiosity. She thought it was all a story. Paulo rolled his eyes, though he slipped the charm into his pocket. I thought it would be just another adventure. The forest was enchanting at first. Towering baobab trees stretched their ancient limbs to the sky, and bursts of color from wildflowers stood out against the green carpet of moss and ferns. A small stream cut through the underbrush, and we stopped to drink and laugh, Maria splashing Paulo as he grumbled about his soaked boots. Ines told a story of ancient warriors who protected the forest, their spirits still watching over it. We joked about her being one of those spirits in another life. But as we moved deeper, the mood shifted. The trees grew taller and closer, their twisted branches blocking out the sun. Shadows seemed to linger too long in the corners of our vision. The air became unnervingly still, and the sound of birdsong vanished. By late afternoon, the whispers began. At first, it was faint, like the rustling of leaves, but then it grew clearer, words I couldn't quite make out. Turn back, the voices hissed, weaving through the trees. Joao was the first to speak up. We shouldn't ignore this. We should go back. His hand trembled as he gripped his charm. I wanted to agree, but Maria pushed forward, her steps defiant. You're scared of the wind, she teased, though her voice wavered. Come on, it's nothing. Night fell too quickly. The forest, dark enough during the day, became a suffocating void. That was when Maria stopped abruptly. "Do you hear that?" she whispered, her face pale. Before we could answer, the shadows around her seemed to come alive. Tendrils of darkness reached out, wrapping around her arms and legs. She screamed, a sound that made my blood run cold, but when I rushed to help her, Joe yanked me back. "You can't. It's them," he shouted, and in the blink of an eye, Maria was gone. Only her charm lay on the ground, glowing faintly in the moonlight. Ines began to pray, her voice trembling as she clutched her charm. But the shadows didn't stop. They circled us, their whispers louder now, turning into a cacophony of voices that made it impossible to think. One by one, they fell. Ines tried to tell a story to Tomas, her words barely audible over the whispers, but the shadows swallowed her mid-sentence. Paulo, the skeptic, screamed for help as he ran, his flashlight flickering before the darkness consumed him. Joao clung to me, his grip like iron, but even he was pulled into the void, his charm falling from his hand as he disappeared. I was alone. Their screams echoed in my ears, but worse than the sounds were the silences that followed. I clutched my charm, trembling, and whispered the prayer my grandmother had taught me. I don't know why it came to mind, but it was all I had. The words spilled from my lips, shaky at first, then stronger. The shadows faltered. I could feel their hesitation, like the forest itself was holding its breath. I kept praying, my voice growing louder. Each step I took felt like a battle, the air pressing down on me, the whispers trying to drown me out. But I didn't stop. When the first rays of sunlight broke through the canopy, the whispers ceased. The shadows melted away, retreating into the depths of the forest. I stumbled out, the village in sight, and collapsed at the edge of the trees. They found me there, shaking and barely able to speak. Vovô Chico was among them, his face etched with sorrow. "You survived," he said, his voice heavy. "The spirits heard your prayer. They let you go." I told them everything about the whispers, the shadows, and how my friends were taken. The village mourned their loss, and Vovô Chico led rituals to honor their spirits. I helped where I could, leaving offerings at the forest's edge and praying for my friends. But the guilt never left me. Why was I the one to survive? Perhaps it was the prayer, or the charm, or the sheer lack of not succumbing to my fear. I'll never know. The whispering forest remains, its secrets buried deep within its shadowy depths. And I remain, a guardian of its edges, the keeper of its stories, and a reminder to those who come after me, some places are meant to be left alone.